Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today, we're taking another look at a Kaiju number 8 concept, and this time, the concept actually is inspired by a comment by Blue Green Phoenix on my video about the weird similarities between Kaiju number 8 and Kaiju number 9. Blue Green Phoenix pointed out something I had completely missed, and something that was important enough that I thought it deserved its own video. So, I outlined some of the parallels that I saw between Kaiju number 8 and Kaiju number 9. How both by behavior, by temperament, and by even visual similarity, they are kind of doppelgangers for each other. That is, there are similarities between them, but these similarities only serve to illustrate the vast differences between them. Kaiju number 8 is a protector. Kaiju number 9 is a heartless destroyer. Kaiju number 8 is black flesh and bare bone, extremely healthy looking with strong solid muscle fibers. Kaiju number 9 is soft, flabby, rotting fungal tissue. Blue Green Phoenix came in and pointed out another thing that I kind of missed. Now, this is also still partly speculative, but it seems that Kaiju number 8 has an opposite power set to Kaiju number 9. Kaiju number 9's main power is regeneration of Kaiju flesh. And Blue Green Phoenix pointed out there's evidence that Kaiju number 8 has degeneration of Kaiju flesh powers. And he pointed out two major aspects of this and led me to realize that there was actually a third. So the first one we see right away in chapter number 8, when Kafka is battling the Hanju on the training grounds. He's just revealed himself in front of Kikoru and blasted the Hanjo into the stratosphere. Kikoru is just shocked, just completely shook, and the body parts of the Hanju are falling back to the ground, and in one of his attempts at being cool, Kafka, as Kaiju number 8, says, "Let's see you try and come back after that, pal." And immediately, the Kaiju tissue starts to rise from the ground and reassert itself, like it is going to regenerate after that. And of course, Kafka immediately falls away from his coolness. He goes, "Eep! I was just kidding, I swear, please don't come back." And the tissue falls to the ground with a thud. Kafka wipes the sweat from his bony brow, because somehow, I don't know if this is just artistic license, but that bony faceplate of his seems to be able to sweat, and says, "Don't freak me out like that." At which point he then rescues Kikoru from a Yoju, and the story goes on. But this is very interesting. This seems to indicate that Kafka had the power to stop the regeneration in process. Now, it could be that the Kaiju number 9 had only given the Hanju so much regeneration power, and it tried to regenerate itself, but it released. But it's weird that the regenerating flesh seemed to be following Kafka's orders. First, Kafka says, "Let's try and see you come back from that," and it attempts to regenerate, and then Kafka says, "Stop," and it stops regenerating. And I would think of this as giving less credence to this theory, except this series has an established motif of hiding seriously important plot points behind body humor jokes like this. The main one being, that's fully confirmed, is that they hid the world building for the Steam release, for how both Kaiju and the Kaiju-based uniforms vent heat by venting steam, behind Kafka's peeing out of his nipples joke. And then they hid the information that the Kaiju number 8 body is draining Kafka of his energy by the throwing up in the truck joke, because if you remember, when the 3rd Division goes out on its first mission for its rookies to fight the fungal kaiju, Kafka got hungry, ate too much before the mission, and threw up in the truck on the way to the mission. And Vice Captain Hoshina himself points out that's when you're supposed to lose your appetite, not get hungry. So that's two instances where vital information was hidden in these very comical body humor jokes. And I think that's what we're looking at here too. Hiding behind Kafka's attempts to be cool and his failure to be cool, you have this sign that he can control the regeneration of these things. Now, Blue-Green Phoenix also suggests that Kafka might actually have the ability to, Kaiju number 8 rather, might have the ability to cause regeneration, just like Kaiju number 9. But there's only this one bit of evidence here to suggest that, but that would be very, very interesting. But it does seem that Kaiju number 8 has the ability to cause degeneration or to stop regeneration. But that was only the first piece of evidence that Blue-Green Phoenix brings up. The second bit of evidence is much, much more telling, much, much more obvious, and really, really sells this theory for me, because this is something that had been scratching at the back of my brain ever since I read it. So my brain was telling me I hadn't fully explained it, or rather the series hadn't fully explained it yet. And that is in Kaiju number 8's fight with Kaiju number 9. Now, if you'll remember, Kaiju number 8 just went in and started tearing apart Kaiju number 9. And Kaiju number 9 was very quickly pushed back off his feet and started being unable to fight back. And Kaiju number 9 actually takes the chance to comment when Kafka rips through the shield of corpses and just starts pounding into him with blow after blow after blow after blow. And Kaiju number 9 is trying to escape. He says, can't get away, getting pinned down. This is abnormal. And interestingly enough, the font for the word abnormal is bolded and 3 times as large as the rest of the font in that panel. Kaiju number 9 goes on, something is off. It's taking longer than usual to heal the damage. Why is that? And then he gives up trying to figure it out and says, I'll retreat for now. But he can't retreat. Kafka pounds him with one mega blow that destroys his body. Kaiju number 9 manages to protect his core, but then the Defense Force members show up. Kaiju number 9 threatens them. Kafka has to defend them, and Kaiju number 9 escapes. But that was abnormal. Kaiju number 9 should have been regenerating faster. I was very curious about that at first, but then I thought, well, Haru and Reno had been hitting him with freeze round and conductive rounds. Maybe Kaiju number 9 just wasn't used to taking that much electricity and freeze rounds, and that is what slowed him down. But Kaiju number 9 is a Kaiju is at least parallel in strength to Kaiju number 8, a Kaiju that either Shinomiya would have trouble taking down. So it never quite satisfied me exactly that it was those rounds that had slowed him down and had just shocked him, especially because Kaiju number 9 seemed to have such a good grasp on what the Defense Force weapons could do to him. So it makes a lot more sense if Kaiju number 8 has a degeneration ability, the ability to prevent regeneration. And like the other different weapons that Kaiju number 8 has, it just kind of activates almost without Kafka knowing it. Because that first elbow rocket punch, Kafka would have never had a chance to practice that safely. He could not have possibly done that before he used that. And the sonic scream, again, there's no way Kafka could have practiced that safely. And the final jump punch to pound the Wyvern bomb into the sky. Again, Kafka couldn't have practiced moves like that. So one theory that's been kind of developed in the fandom is that the little guy, the Kaiju that crawled in and seems to hate other Kaiju and generates Kaiju number 9, the little guy is suggesting these things. And that's something that Cold and Concerned and I worked up together. And so you have the little guy is suggesting to Kafka to use this ability, but because Kafka doesn't recognize it because it's not a punch, essentially, he doesn't realize that he's doing it yet. And once Kafka realizes that he can do this, it might give him an extraordinary control over at least Kaiju that are weaker than him. That is most Kaiju. So now, but I said there were 3 points, and after Blue-Green Phoenix had pointed out these 2 points to me, I remembered another thing that was bugging me. When Kafka punched the Kaiju bomb, why didn't it explode on impact? Because I'm pretty sure that's what Kafka was going for. If it exploded on the ground, the force would have traveled through the ground. But Kafka ran up and punched it. And the only thing Kafka could have been thinking of, because he didn't know it would bow in like that and go back up higher, was to prevent it from hitting the ground. And so basically to detonate it early before it was ready. But if you have the little guy making suggestions, Kafka would have punched it, and at the same time, remember, all that energy was crackling around him, activated his anti-kaiju regeneration ability, which might have delayed the detonation. So if he's broadcasting this energy, the energy would have hit the wyvern before his fist did. And it maybe put a stop on the bomb's timer and stunned the timer so that it didn't go off until the bomb had been raised higher up in the atmosphere and had gotten more distance from the base and the officers that Kafka was trying to protect. So here you have 3 major incidents. The first one, when he stopped the regeneration of the Hanju. The second one, when he stopped the regeneration of Kaiju number 9 himself, meaning that his powers strong enough to affect Kaiju equal in strength to him, even when he's not consciously aware that he's doing it. And the third one, where he stunts the functionality of dozens of wyvern about to explode. And so I think we're going to see a lot more of this. And the interesting thing is I don't know how Kafka's going to figure out about this power, because it seems to be something that acts on instinct and is possibly just active all the time. Perhaps Kafka's the anti-kaiju. But be that as it may, a big thanks to Blue Green Phoenix for the long and thorough comment that got me started thinking this way. Alright, that's all I've got for now. Go down and check the links below the videos for a copy of Humans Are Weird. I have the data of Book of Human Absurdity, and peace out, my wonderful viewers.
The book from author Betty Adams, Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data, is a humorous look at human behavior through the eyes of aliens. This book is arranged in separate reports or essays, documenting the experiences with humanity through the lens of the aliens who have to interact with them. This anthology of short stories and vignettes from alien points of view highlights some of humanity's quirks we can all relate to. Author Betty Adams captures how strange and interesting humans can really be. This is a fun collection of stories you will really get a kick out of. Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data, from author Betty Adams. Order your copy right now on Amazon.